Hey guys, we're back. I'm really, really excited for this topic because, of course, it's all the rage with the impending enforcement of Annex 1. But for the record, and I know you know, when you hear Annex 1, you hear contamination control strategy. So, for the record, this is not a new thing. I want everyone to realize this is not a new thing. If you're a micro person or sterility assurance professional, we have been implementing these for years, decades, arguably, okay? But now they're formalized, and so let's talk about it. Brian, is it something you can outsource? Can you feasibly outsource a contamination control strategy?
You could,
Oh,
but I
aspects of
wouldn't.
it, I
But I
think, yeah.
wouldn't. I'm going to tell you
Yeah,
that much. Um, First and foremost, you are responsible for the environment, for the product, for the materials, for the equipment. So, to basically say, well, someone else can take care of what may be the most important aspect of what we're doing to be able to release a quality product consistently, because a proper contamination control strategy addresses almost every facet of the facility. And
absolutely.
to be able to outsource that, what you're going to end up with is probably a nice, pretty big document that is effectively useless because you
Yeah,
outsourced ownership.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But let's break it down
Okay,
because I think, and I've been contracted to do this. So this is something I think is worth talking through the nuance.
sure.
Okay. So what you covered exactly, a contamination control strategy is this umbrella, arguably beautiful concerto of everything inside of your business, right? It's the whole kit and caboodle. But that's from a strategic perspective,
Right.
right? And I think that when you consider areas of strength and knowledge and expertise, you may not have all of that in house at one time. You may be integrating or standing up new sterility assurance departments. I know some organizations where they don't have a sterility assurance department
Yeah.
yet, and they're in aseptic processing and terminal sterilized product business. And so there are ways in which you can outsource this. So you can
Sure.
hire a third party to come on site and coordinate, facilitate, and co-develop your
Yes.
contamination control strategy, right? So it's not a documentation exercise, right? It's not a discussion. This is a whole scale facilitation and huge coordinated cross-functional group
Yeah.
exercise amongst many stakeholders. Now, if it takes a third party person to come on site, to have that knowledge, to pull in all the departments, to make it a brown paper exercise initially,
Yeah.
so be it. I'm for that. And in that aspect, I think you can outsource the facilitation and development of a contamination control strategy. Now, once you have developed the strategic document, turning that into a living, breathing, executable plan that which you update, absolutely, you have to have skin in the game. You've
Yeah.
got to own that as a company, and that cannot be outsourced, right? Unless you're talking about hiring a temporary quality professional for 6 months, or an executive on loan or something, and that's done too. You need to own your
Sure.
contamination control strategy. You
Yeah.
need to own that plan and the execution of it. Do you agree? What do you think?
Yeah, I think you hit it exactly right. Is that, there may be individuals that can help put that together, and there's a lot of experts in this area that can facilitate that. Those individuals may also identify gaps in your program, just as a means of doing that in the first place. So,
There will be gaps.
yeah, there absolutely will be. And I think you hit it exactly right when you say that it's living, right?
Yes,
We assess the effectiveness of our contamination control strategy with our data, right?
absolutely.
And so it should point out areas where we need to continue to focus on, and to your point, identify those gaps and be able to rectify them and make
Yep.
changes to that. And so, data becomes a critically important aspect of a well executed contamination control strategy.
Yeah, I was just thinking while you were talking. What if it's like a microbiology PMO person? Like
Mm.
you have a project
Yeah.
coordinator who happens to also be a microbiologist.
Yeah.
That's when you can outsource this feature. When
Yeah.
they've
That's
got
true.
the change champion, energy, the culture to make that change, and they can disseminate that throughout your organization, and they can get all different departments together. I see a lot of people make a mistake in thinking that a contamination control strategy is the ownership of a microbiology person only or of a
No.
sterility assurance person only. It is the quality groups co uh, leadership and
Right.
ownership piece. This is not just something, oh, because it has the word contamination in it, it's just for me. No, no, no,
Last I checked, the microbiology lab isn't doing your site cleaning.
no.
You know?
Right. Last I checked, we were doing your manufacturing
Right?
and owning the clean rooms or designing the facility. And these are all the things that go into that strategy document.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Gowning management,
Yeah.
it is so much more than just micro, but people sort
Raw
of default.
material
By
supply.
the way, people just default to contamination as micro. Well, there's, non-micro contamination that occurs in
Also
facilities.
that
So
viral.
there's
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, adventitious,
Yeah.
particulate, all different
Yeah.
sorts of contamination.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Other processes and cross-product contamination. Yeah, I think we could have a whole segment on that.
yeah.
But for sure, I think it comes down to the execution facilitation, you can absolutely outsource. But once you've got that strategy defined, executing it, preventing contamination, making those changes, determining effectiveness, having the data, as you say, feedback into the
Yeah.
plan, that's all you. And that cannot be outsourced.
And so also, by the way, if we're dealing with outsourced manufacturing, uh, right? So how does your contamination control strategy umbrella document apply to your third party suppliers or
Absolutely.
individuals that are making a product on your behalf as well? You have a right to take a look at that and build that
Great,
into your agreements as well.
great point to consider. Love
Yeah.
that. I love ending on a cliffhanger, but I think that's all for this topic. Thank you so much, Brian.
Glad to chat with you, Vanessa.